You know, outdoor living is great, but if you've got a support like this wrought iron piece that we've got up here that's holding up the roof over your porch or deck, it looks pretty crummy, doesn't it? We could come in here and remove the rust with a brush and maybe some chemicals, and then we could repaint, but it would still look out of date. How would you like to go from this to this? I'll show you how. Now, as you can see, the L-shaped brace over here works fine against these 2x6s. What we're going to install instead of this stuff, though, is about that big. That means it would be no support at all. To solve that problem, we're going to take this 2x8 and put it in between here. Now, there's a slight slope to the roof up here, but this has got to be level, and we better check it before we tack it in. And what we're looking at is this bubble right over here, and it's right on the money. Now, anytime you're going to be using a power nailer, you want to be sure and wear your safety goggles. And we'll just nail this baby in place. Now, before we take this out, we don't want the roof to fall down on our head, so we got to put some support back in here. What we're going to do is just cut a 2x4 that'll go from the concrete deck down here up to here, which is like 82 5/8. We're going to make it a little longer than that. That way it'll push the roof up a little bit, give us more working room over here. I got to go cut this thing and get started. Now, we wanted to add just a little bit to it, so we'll make it 82 7/8. And now it's time to cut one. And I've got my good friend Ted, who is one of our technical advisors, in here to help me. Thanks for coming by, Ted. Whoa, whoa, right in there. Let's cut this baby off. Now, let's see if it'll hold up that roof. Now, a couple of good whacks ought to take care of this baby. And the weight of the roof is going to hold it in place. Now, we'll be able to remove this without worrying about the roof falling on our heads. Now, I think as soon as we get all these screws out, we're going to be able to take this whole thing out of there. Yeah. Off with the old and on with the new. Now, since our new pillars are going to be hexagonal, we made a base that's hexagonal. What we did is take some scrap 2x4s, made a 30-degree cut. We've drilled holes so that we can put masonry screws down there to attach the base to the concrete. I know what you're thinking. How did they figure out where to put the base? Well, when we get this true so that it's plumb, then that's going to be the place. Is it okay, Ted?
Yeah, it looks good right there, Al.
Okay. Let's go ahead and put screws in here and anchor this baby down. Now we're ready to go build our columns. As you can see, we've used 6 different boards to form our hexagonal column. Each one of these is 3.5 inches wide and has a 30-degree bevel on each edge of it. Now, in order to attain that, we've got to run these boards through here twice, putting the bevel on each time, but the first cut is going to be 3 3/4. The second cut only 3 1/2. So we'll have to adjust after that. Now we can run this through. Anytime that you're pushing lumber through a saw like that, be sure that the last few inches are done with a push stick. We don't want to get our hands close to that moving blade. Now we need to set for the next width, which is going to be 3 1/2 inches. We just move this fence in, and now we're ready to go. Well, now we've got the perfect board here. It's 3 1/2 inches wide. It's got a 30-degree bevel on each side. All we need are 5 more of these, and we've got another one of our hexagonal columns made. Now, let me show you how these things go together. They go together bevel to bevel, and it's really good if you have somebody to hold it, at least in the beginning. Now we'll just go ahead and tack them down. And now we just need to work our way on down as we go. Now that we got all of our pieces nailed together, we got a great looking column. great looking, but can it stand for all that weight? I don't think so. That's why we're going to put a 4x4 in there to give it rigidity. Now we found that we needed to bevel the edges on 2 sides of this. And Ted, if you'll put it on through there, I think we'll have it ready to go. When it gets up here where it's even, now that's perfect right there. Now what we need to do is to nail it in place. That ought to hold it, Ted. How about if we haul it over and see if it's going to fit? Now we just have to get this down on the base, nail it in place, get it level. How's that going to be? It's a little snug. Okay. I believe that's just about got it there, Ted.
Looks pretty good there.
Now let's see if it's plumb and true. Get that level up there.
It's pretty good that way.
Hey, it's right on the money there. I'm going to tack it in place. Well, now you know all the steps in putting together the columns. You could do this yourself if you wanted to. After we get through here, the final step is putting a finish on there. It's going to look great. And we decided on a redwood stain because all the rest of the framing in this roof out here is redwood. So we felt like that would look much, much better. You could paint it if you want to. The big thing is that even though this may be pressure treated lumber, it needs to have protection. So be sure you get some sort of coating on there. This looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now, once you're finished putting the stain on, you will have invested about 5 hours in the project. And these materials cost about $200, but it's certainly going to be worth it. We're going to get many hours of enjoyment out of this.